That evening, the Fat Controller came to see the engines. "Thomas and Tom, you two have caused confusion and delay," he said sternly. "Your trouble has cost me my new job. You have given me a lot of trouble. People are laughing at my railway, and I don't like that at all." Thomas and Tom felt very silly. "That's not the worst of it. The trucks are broken, the building materials are wrecked, the road is damaged, the racing headquarters are nowhere near finished, and because the road is damaged, we will not be able to hold the Sodor Grand Prix. No racing cars or racing drivers will come to Sodor for a race this year," he added sternly. Thomas felt terrible. He had let down the Fat Controller, let down the other engines, and let himself down. No holiday makers means no passengers, and no racing cars mean no race, he said sadly. All the engines were miserable. Thomas was still tired the next morning. "I hope you learned something from all this, Thomas," said Edward wisely. "I certainly did. It seems I'm still finding myself." "Well, that's just life, Thomas. You gotta help yourself. No one's going to do it for you." "I suppose you're right, Edward," said Thomas sadly. "It's just a shame that there's still not a tank engine that's just like me, still in service, who can understand me well enough to show me the way." "Yeah, right," sniffed Gordon. "I'm sure there's still a tank engine out there who looks just like he's still in service," sniffed James. "Not," sniffed Gordon, and he chuffed off. "Now what are we going to do?" sniffed Percy. "The building materials cost an awful lot now. How are we going to raise all that money?" Thomas didn't know, and began to wish he hadn't played that trick on Tom. Then, suddenly, an idea came to him. "I got an idea," he hooted. "Why don't we get all the passengers to sponsor us to clear the mess and do our jobs?" "That sounds like a fantastic idea, Thomas," said Edward. "I'm sure the Fat Controller will agree." As indeed he did, and everyone agreed that Thomas had made a really useful suggestion. They know the work may be hard, but they know the money is important to get more building materials to finish off the building work.
He's a really useful engine, you know. All the other engines, they'll tell you so. He huffs and puffs and whistles, rushing to and fro. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's a really useful engine, you know. 'Cause the Fat Controller, he told him so. Now he's got a branch line to call his very own. He's the really useful engine we adore. He's the one, he's the number one. Thomas the Tank Engine. He's the really useful engine we adore.
Later that week, the Fat Controller arrived back at the yards to show the engines a special surprise. They were all very excited. Just then Stanley puffed up, but there was still a sound of pistons pumping. From behind Stanley, another tank engine puffed alongside. He was red, with letters LMS standing London, Midland and Scottish Railway, but he looked almost similar to Thomas, but different. "This is Brian," boomed the Fat Controller. "We are giving him a test run. He's going to be part of the grand prize of the Sodor Grand Prix tomorrow." All the engines were excited, but Thomas was a bit unsure. He looked almost similar to himself. What if the engines like him better than him? "Anyway, Thomas, your idea is going well. So far we have raised up £3,000 thanks to the passengers, but there is still a long way to go." "So what is our target then, sir?" asked Thomas curiously. £6,000, but I've heard that another £3,000 is also going to be the grand prize of the race too. But it depends who's going to win. Then he turned to Henry and James. "Henry and James, you two are to pick up the racing cars and racing drivers from Titmouth Bay. They are arriving from Brendam Docks." "Yes, sir," they both said. "As long as we don't pick up a Morris Marina," laughed James cheekily. Isn't this exciting, Thomas? Whistled Percy happily. The race is still back on track, and the sponsorship money is raising up high. At this rate, we're sure to finish the building work on time. I don't think that's happening, called a voice. Who said that? Called Percy. I know that. It's Chick, fumed Lightning. What are you doing here? Oh, I had come to join the Sodor Grand Prix too, especially because I heard about the prize money. What do you care about it? Asked Thomas. It means I get to build my dream building on this island, the tallest skyscraper in the world, but it will mean shutting down this tin pot railway, he said sneerily. You can't do that, fumed Lightning McQueen. This railway belongs to everyone. It won't be long, Lightning McQueen, he sniffed. It will belong to me soon, and then you and all these tin kettles are history. And he drove smugly away, pretty confident that he might win. Brian was worried now. I'm sure to be sent to the smelter's yard now, he said sadly. No, you won't. We won't let that happen to you, Brian. We promise. But how? Said Percy worriedly. Now hang on a minute, Percy. I've decided to join in the race as well. So, I need to get more practicing, and if we work harder, we might get more sponsorship money. So there's still little hope. Thank you, Brian puffed, and he puffed away. And Thomas set off to do some more training on his speed while he does his jobs.
Jobs for plenty, 5, 10, 20, jobs for everyone. Jobs galore, and still there's more jobs that must be done. Train it, crane it, you name it, then we all can say the time for gods will shine like new on Sodor Day.
There's jobs for mainland engines and narrow gauge as well. Jobs for workmen in the woods we choose to clear and fell. And guess who's trying hardest to do more than the rest?
It's Thomas, but the others know they all will do their best. Jobs are plenty, 5, 10, 20, jobs for everyone. Jobs galore, and still there's more jobs that must be done. Train it, crane it, you name it, then we all can say the time for gods will shine like new on Sodor Day.
Emily and Gordon take fallen trees and rocks. James and Edward bringing stone while Henry's at the docks. And Toby jobs for workmen to work with Jack and Nat.
When Percy drops supplies, no time to rest at Tidmouth Shed. Jobs are plenty, 5, 10, 20, jobs for everyone. Jobs galore, and still there's more jobs that must be done. Train it, crane it, you name it, then we all can say the time for gods will shine like new on Sodor Day. Jobs are plenty, 5, 10, 20, jobs for everyone. Jobs galore, and still there's more jobs that must be done. Train it, crane it, you name it, then we all can say the time for gods will shine like new on Sodor